Hey, this is Manda with the Cosmic Mystics Club, bringing you the full moon report for this super moon that we're going to have on October 6th. It'll be around 8:47 in California, so you can do the math. But this is a special moon of the year. It's going to be the brightest moon of the year and the closest to the Earth. So it should be pretty spectacular to be out there and see it rising wherever you are. It's also a pretty amazing moon because we have Pluto on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn. He's technically in Capricorn now, but he's been hanging around there on the cusp for a while. So some very powerful energy coming in with this full moon in Pisces. And in the middle of October, Pluto is going to go direct, and I'll be doing another video on that because this is a really important transit to understand and be able to tune into and work with the energies. Pluto is going to be in Capricorn for about 17 years. So this full moon to me is kicking off this Pluto moving into Capricorn now and bringing in the Pisces energy, the spirituality, the connection to the invisible realms, combined with Pluto and Capricorn, which is all about physical form and the earth. So there's a real nice balance here between these two energies. And the Pisces full moon will soften a little bit Pluto's entry into Capricorn, in my understanding. And it's also quite close to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. It's not conjunct, but it's not right on it, but there's a connection here between Chiron, Saturn, Neptune, and the moon. So a very mystical energy could find a lot of very deep intuitive insights regarding issues that are ready to be healed and released with this full moon. Issues that you may have been working on for a long time, since this moon sort of portends not only the end of the lunar cycle, the lunar year, the 13-month lunar cycle, but also the completion of the Pisces-Virgo eclipse cycles that we've been in for the last couple of years, which have been very much about bringing in healing into our physical reality, into our bodies, into our relationship with our bodies, with nature, and bringing in more of a spiritual connection, being willing to show up and be present with ourselves, with our body, and kind of a very beautiful synthesis between the invisible realms and the visible world, between the material and the non-material. And, you know, as I always say in astrology, when we're looking at any particular sign or point on the zodiac, we're also looking at the opposite, because there really aren't any opposites in life. It appears that way, but without death, there would be no life. Without night, there would be no day. So they're really part of the same energy, and that's what we've been working on with this Pisces-Virgo polarities, is bringing ourselves into a state of harmony with polarity in general, but specifically with the physical and the non-physical. And there's so much in our mysterious reality and in our experience that is non-physical. Our whole internal experience, our perception, our connection to life itself, our energy. You could say all of these things reside in the invisible realms, in the non-material, the non-dual. And then we have the physical world with all its forms and manifestations. And polarities are needed for manifestation. But in the inner world, polarity is not needed. The energies can be combined into one experience of both at the same time. So I feel like that's what this full moon is completing, that lesson that we've been going through the last couple of years. And we have Uranus rising on the ascendant at the time of this full moon in Taurus. So again, we're bringing in to our physical experience awakenings, bodily awakenings, awakenings to what we truly value and to who we truly are. Uranus is the great liberator, the great awakener, and he's awakening us into our bodies, into the earth, into the physical reality. And there's a beautiful flow of energy moving from Uranus to Saturn, Neptune, over to Pluto. It's a very portends the energy that's coming in, because to me, these sextiles and trines have to do with the future. They're paving the way forward. And to have all these powerhouse planets in such a harmonious relationship with each other, to me, is a sign that what we've been working on, possibly for a long time, possibly for years, is starting to come into form. We have the energy that we need now to bring it into physical manifestation. And on the bottom part of the chart, we have Jupiter is opposite Pluto at the moment. Jupiter in Gemini is opposite Pluto. And this could create the ability to go really deep and to see what's been hidden from us. This could be revelations on some level that have a lot to do with our physical experience and also to do with the way we look at the world, our perception of the world. And, you know, at the moment, there's a lot of talk going around about AI. And it's interesting to me because AI to me is just a tool. It is a huge gathering of massive quantities of information that can be quickly found and organized. And it's great, it's a tool. But it's AI. It's a machine. It's not alive. It's not connected with nature. It's not connected with our consciousness, with our intuition, with our soul. And so with Pluto opposite Jupiter here, there's also, to me, kind of a warning that to not get lost in the mind, because the mind can be very seductive. It can offer us answers. It can offer us perspectives, but they're all concepts and ideas. They're not in our actual experience, that we're not feeling it. We're not embodying it. It's information. It's a part, an aspect of the mental realm. And if we're looking for something real, we need to look to nature, to reality, that's what Capricorn to me is pointing to here with Pluto here in Capricorn, is to connect with what is real, with what can be touched and felt and experienced, and to be aware that this mental realm, this new level of AI that's coming into the world, to put it in its correct position. It has its purpose, it has its uses, but it's not going to answer the questions of the soul, of the cosmic mystic on the journey. It may serve that in its own way if that's how you choose to use it. But I guess the point I'm making is to be aware that you're using it and it's not using you. That's what, to me, this opposition with Pluto is saying. To go deeper than the mind. And part of the opposition is Mercury. So, and Mercury would have a lot to do with communication and information and, movement of the mind. Mercury being here in Virgo is a faster moving mind, a mind that is tuning in naturally to information from all different sources. So if we can connect that, when we have a square, which we do between Pluto and Mercury, and then we have a square between Mercury and Jupiter, squares to me are bringing things up from the past that need to be reabsorbed, redigested, looked at from a different perspective, maybe looked at in a deeper way with Pluto there in Capricorn, and given the attention and the energy they need, the acceptance that they need to come forth, and then let them go and release, not to stay mulling over things. With Mercury here in a square to Pluto and Uranus and Jupiter, to be aware that not to emphasize it too much, because there's a lot of energy moving between these planets, and to kind of take it at your own pace, and to find ways to slow yourself down and to relax so that you can really feel into information that might be coming through that might be very helpful to you in terms of moving forward and putting things to rest, letting go, completion, all part of a full moon experience, the culmination of the light that illuminates areas for us so that we can be freer, so that we can release. And with Uranus there on the ascendant rising as this is happening, I feel this is going to bring in a lot of self-awakening, awakening to who we really are and the importance of being who we really are. And that nobody can do that except us. Nobody can tell us who we are. We are a mystery to ourselves, and the only way to know who we are is to bring awareness to that, to be present to our own experience, to our own feelings, and to honor them, not to repress, not to reject, not to compare, but to honor our own uniqueness and to bring it in to our expression in the world, to bring it in to our daily life, into our communication. And we also have an opposition going on between Venus and Saturn and Neptune. So there's definitely a need to, Venus is there in Leo. She's approaching the end of Leo, getting ready to go into Virgo. So there's definitely a need to honor our hearts and what we truly value. And what can be more valuable than honoring who you are, the unique design that the universe created you to be. And the more that you can do that, and the more that you can accept and love yourself for who you are, regardless of what the world says, Saturn, regardless of what Neptune, regardless of what our beliefs are, what beliefs have been given to us, regardless of our programming, to love and honor who we are, Venus in Leo, through the heart, because the heart is the ultimate rebel. The heart takes no instructions from anyone. To be true to your heart, you have to be willing to be alone. You have to be willing to honor yourself on the deepest level, because the heart is not interested in compromise. It's not interested in mental ideas and concepts. It has its own intelligence. It has its own wisdom. And it's connected to everything. It's connected to nature, to the universe. It's connected to the mysterious realms, to our intuition. And so really honoring your heart and really valuing yourself with this full moon energy, this super moon, I feel is a great gift that is available to those of us who are willing to face whatever comes up that contradicts us valuing ourselves for who we are, whatever that is. To be willing to stay present, Leo, the lion, to be brave and courageous with ourselves and with other people, and at the same time, honor with Uranus on the ascendant here, honoring the uniqueness that we all are. The miracle that every single one of us are a completely unique design, and yet, at the same time, we're all interconnected and interdependent with each other. And we all have something of value to contribute. If we can be true to who we are, we can discover what it is that we were designed and created to contribute. And that's when we have the most joy in life, is, to me, when you're being true to your nature, when you're being true to who you are. It's effortless. And it always brings exactly what's needed in the moment. You're connected with synchronicity, with the magic of life. And you can go with the flow. Neptune up there in Pisces. You can go with the flow and you can allow life to guide you. You don't have to come up with all the answers. You can listen. And when you're listening, you're really listening to your own nature that's part of everything, that's connected to everything. And that's, to me, the opportunity that this full moon is bringing in to really honor the truth, Uranus, the truth of who we are, and also the truth of life itself as we experience it. And if we can do that, then we'll be able to ground it in the world. And as Pluto gears up in Capricorn, the opposite of that, the polarity point of that, is Cancer. And that's all about honoring our deep sensitivity and our intuition and the ways in which we need to be nurtured, the ways in which we need to protect ourselves and nurture ourselves are very much part of this Pluto transit. That we have to be our own best friend, ultimately. Ultimately, when we're facing situations where we're not getting the understanding or the validation that we need from the outside, when we're being true to who we are, we have to then go within and find it within ourselves and be our own best friend and be our own ally. That, to me, is the meaning of loving yourself, is that no matter what anyone else says, no matter the opinions of the world or even the opinions of your own mind, that you honor the truth of who you are, of who you know yourself to be. And you're willing to stand alone in that and feel your own energy in its purity without trying to fit into anything, without trying to become anything, but just what you already are, what nature has given to you. So, other than that, Yeah, not I'd say there's a great opportunity here for healing and putting to rest things that have been keeping us from really finding our own voice, finding our own expression, and honoring our own uniqueness. And with this full moon, you can let go, you can allow the flow to remove the obstacles that are in the way of you feeling connected to yourself, to your true nature, and spend some time in nature with this full moon. If you have the opportunity to be outside and you can see it, to tune into it and let it communicate with you. Let it send you the messages that you need, because this is my experience of the luminaries and the planets, is that when we bring our conscious attention to them, when we tune into them and we're receptive, they send us the messages and the information that we need. And you may not be able to put it into words or express it to someone else, but your soul will receive it and you will know that you've received it. And you can develop your own relationship with the cosmos. Because it's, for me anyway, it's essential to feel connected to the cosmos and not just have my life be a picture of the practical daily life experience of the world and society. And this is something that Pluto will be deconstructing, is society, because Capricorn represents the structure of society and the organizations that make up society. And as we all know, many of them are outdated and rotten and corrupt and do not serve the highest truths, do not serve truth at all. Even in astrology, we can see in the last 10 years that while Pluto is transiting Sagittarius, the truth about the fact that tropical and Vedic astrology are both fictitious, man-made systems. They have absolutely nothing to do with the factual placements of the planets and the luminaries in any given moment. So we have millions and millions of people setting their consciousness, their perception, to a fictitious system that's pumping out information about things that have absolutely nothing to do with reality and nature, purely mind concepts. So this revelation that's going on just in astrology, and that's just one area of society that's being revealed, and Pluto is great at revealing where we are out of sync with nature and man-made structures that are keeping us disconnected from nature and keeping us polarized and locked into a psychology that has nothing to do with reality whatsoever. This is part of this Pluto energy coming in with this supermoon and sort of kicking it off, you could say, that these energies that are going to come in over the next 17 years that will be so transformational. And the world is going to look very different after Pluto transits Capricorn. And you may have heard in tropical and Vedic that Pluto is going into Aquarius. This is what I mean. They're putting out information that Pluto is entering Aquarius. Pluto is entering Capricorn in the natural real sky. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up yourself with any of these, with Stellarium or any of these apps that show you the exact position of the planets and the luminaries. And so by them putting out this future position of Pluto that has nothing to do with reality, they're affecting the collective psychology of the planet. And everyone's ahead of where nature actually is, out of sync, distorted. So part of this transformation that this moon is bringing in is to really look and see, are you in sync with nature? Are you in sync with reality? Or are you believing and in sync with all these concepts and ideas that have nothing to do with nature or reality, that are all man-made and are not serving you being aligned with life as it's unfolding in the moment? That's the opportunity here, is to realign yourself with what is real, with what is true in the moment, and to step out of all these ideas and concepts and beliefs that have nothing to do with direct experience and nothing to do with the natural order and cosmic law. So I think that's enough for now. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you found this interesting, at least entertaining. And as I said, there'll be more videos coming up in the next few weeks. I'm going to do part 1 of Pluto entering into Capricorn, and also one on the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that will be coming up in February of 2026. So that's it for now. Lots of love, sending lots of love out to whoever's listening to this, and enjoy the beautiful full moon, harvest supermoon, October 6th.